Sitting on the top of the mountain, overlooking the Ionian Sea on one side and a ravine 108 meters deep on the other side, behold, Castellaneta, a town with an ancient history dating back to the Bronze Age. It's located by its Ionic Arch in the province of Taranto. Even before you arrive, this town is astounding, enchanting our eyes and even more our soul with the silence and peace that exudes from every corner of the monastery of Santa Chiara, a place of worship visited by pilgrims from the surrounding areas. The starting point of our trip to Castellaneta is the City Hall, where we are transfixed as we stop to admire the monument in honour of the war victims of the city, a tribute to those who rose to glory with their sacrifice. Behind the war monument, imposing and majestic, stands the 18th century church of San Michele, one of the many traces of the great importance that Castellaneta had in the past as a religious centre. Previously built at the border of the old town, over the years it has been completely incorporated into the heart of the town, and it gives home to many important paintings from the 16th and 18th century. We begin to slowly creep into the winding streets that seem to anticipate our steps. In the heart of the ancient village, we discover many elegant palaces, testimony in today's modern times, the various feudal lords that have come to power and gone over time. In particular, the Catalano Palace, which stands out because of its distinctive oriental facade. Penetrating more into the soul of the ancient town of Castellaneta, we feel so small compared to the majesty of the 16th century church of Santa Maria del Refugio that stands in front of us. Tall and magnificent, but with simple, clean, regular lines on the outside, allowing us to view the inside with its sumptuous altar, full of gold decorations. You feel overwhelmed in a place that exudes sacredness. Perhaps it seems more modest, but it also has an artistic and architectural emphasis. We run into the Church of St. Joseph, built in 1729, an earlier church dedicated to Sant'Andrea Chiancarella. Noble church, and still, even now, on its portal bears the coat of arms of Cassano. Double-fronted style church, Renaissance style in the high part of the Baroque, and the portal, this is the Church of Saint Dominic. Inside, the church has only one nave. It has a very high vault and it's decorated at the same time in an elegant and extravagant style. Meanwhile, this seems a little more modest, almost timid by comparison. This is the church of Santa Maria dell'Auto, built in the 18th century. With the many examples of civil architecture in the town, Palazzo Baronale is surely one of the most beautiful. It's a historical office of political power, and also the Bishop's Palace, today main office of the bishopric, inside houses a painting dating back to the year 1500 by the artist Santa Croce, and also other interesting artistic treasures. Among all the most important treasures of Castellaneta, we cannot avoid mentioning the cathedral dedicated to San Nicola, with its wonderful Baroque facade, built in 1220 and almost completely rebuilt in the 18th century. Inside, you can admire the inlaid, richly decorated wooden ceiling, 3 important paintings by the artist Carlo Porta dating back to the year 1700, and 4 from 1800 belonging to the artist Domenico Carella di Martina. But beyond what is man-made, there is the extraordinary natural beauty of the landscape that surrounds this town. Castellaneta stands in the heart of Parco della Morge, in an extremely evocative landscape due to its gravines. In particular, Gravina Grande, one of the largest and most spectacular canyons in Apulia. 10 kilometers long, this canyon is 145 meters deep and 300 meters wide, and dotted along the path of various historical and archaeological sites. Castellaneta still continues to astound us. Continuing our walk, we arrive at the Church of St. Catherine. And the Church of Santa Chiara, with its portal surmounted with the coat of arms of the family de Rajo, dating back to 1633, and attached the cloistered monastery of the town. Castellaneta never stops to amaze us. Continuing our tour around the town, we discover that it gave birth to one of the greatest movie stars of the early 20th century, Rudolph Valentino, the famous Italian actor of the silent film era. Here you can visit an entire museum dedicated to the famous actor. Not only that, this town is dedicated to its former resident, with a real walking path that ends with a monument made out of majolica. Today, it's still possible for you to visit his birthplace. Among the many examples of Gothic Angevin art in Apulia, the Church of St. Mary Assumption, built, according to legend, due to a captain who miraculously escaped a shipwreck after entrusting himself to the Virgin Mary. But Castellaneta is also Castellaneta Marina, and here we have the sea. Away from the centre of the old village we find the sea village of Castellaneta, a modern residential village. Away from the centre of the old village we find the sea village of Castellaneta, a modern residential area furnished with every comfort, a green landscape, sun and the clear pristine blue of the Ionian Sea which wets its sandy shores. Along one of the most sought after holiday destinations for many tourists from all over the world.